Okay, I'm going to make one of my favorite dishes. I'm going to use this spelt bread. I used to use kamut bread. When I was out in California, I was able to find really nice kamut breads that had maybe 4 or 5 ingredients in them, and you could understand all of them, and they did not have yeast, which made them really ideal if you had a candida issue, or really for just your health in general. They were better than this bread, but this is spelt. At least it doesn't have, I'm trying to find the ingredient list. I saw it once before. It was a little longer than ideal, but at least it doesn't have all the gluten. Oh wait, okay. Wait, so actually this ingredient list isn't too bad. It doesn't have anything that you don't understand in it, but it does have yeast in it. Whereas those kamut breads that I got before did not have yeast, but I cannot find them out here, and I don't know if they even make them anymore. I did used to get them out at Trader Joe's in California. One was called King Kamut. That one was really good. It was kind of a sourdough flavor. And I think the other one, I believe it was called Pacific Kamut, and that one looks a little more like this, like a thicker cut like this. Not that this is thick, but the King Kamut was a little thinner, which I kind of liked. But anyway, this is a really clean bread. I've been finding this at the freezer section of my store, which I didn't even know it was there until I found it like a week ago. And so this is definitely a good alternative. Gluten is really nobody's friend. Even if you don't have a celiac reaction problem that some people have, like they blatantly can't eat wheat or something really bad happens, like even people that don't feel it, gluten is not really their friend. Okay, I'm going to show you, anyway, I'm going to show you this dish how it goes. First I'm going to toast this bread, and I don't have my toaster up here anymore, so I've just been toasting it in the broiler, and we'll come back after that's done. Okay, while the toast is in the broiler, I've been slicing up my ingredients. I have half an avocado, which I have made slices through, a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch apart. I have thinly sliced tomato pieces and onion. You can add other things too, like if you wanted sprouts, for example. You could put sprouts. You could even probably put sunflower seeds. I always put the avocado on the bread first, and if you wanted to add sunflower seeds, you could probably put those next as a second layer. That way it would kind of hold them in place, and then you could put the tomato on top of there. So what I usually like to do is I put the avocado, then the tomato, then the onion, sorry, and then the tomato. I'll show you at the end. I'm by myself, and I don't really know where my little tripod is. I'm not even sure if I could get it in a good spot anyway, even if I did know where it was. And so I can't really show you me actually making it, but this is a very simple dish, so I think you'll get the clue. Okay, so here's my toast, and I'm going to start by putting my ingredients on it. I'll be right back. So I've taken half of the avocado, and I've scooped it out with a spoon and placed it here on the bread, and then I'm going to try and do this with one hand so you can see. Because of all the slices, I can push this over and push them out in a fan-like manner, kind of like this, okay? And then I can go back in here and scoop this out and fill in like these blank spaces. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, here we are with the avocado spread across the bread. I've gotten my skin pretty well cleaned out, and you want this to be as flat as possible. You don't want the avocado to be too high in the middle and thinner on the outsides, because it makes it a little harder for the rest of your ingredients to stay in place, okay? Okay, so here I am with the onion on here. This is not a particularly strong onion, and I do like a fair bit of an onion flavor for myself. So with this onion, and given my personal taste, I have put a little bit more on here. Now this is raw onion, so that will be stronger than if it's cooked. Some people like a little bit less. When I make this dish for someone else, I tend to put a little bit less onion, but this is how much I personally like. Now we're going to go to the tomato layer, and I will show you that in a minute. Okay, and here it is with the tomato on top. By now you've probably figured out these are going to be open-face sandwiches. I prefer to eat these open-face because I can get more vegetable in relation to the bread. If I made this a closed-face sandwich, then what would probably be happening is I would have as much vegetation as I have on this one piece of bread. This vegetation would not exist in my meal, and this piece of bread would be on top of it, because that's probably about as much as you could put even between two pieces and have it stay together. So this way I get a higher portion of vegetables per bread, I like the way this tastes better. I do have to eat it a little bit carefully, but it's worth the trouble, and I feel much better from it this way. Now, for me, I'm going to add a little bit of Himalayan salt. Let me just show you that right now. There is much debate about salt. I mean, table salt, there's definitely a lot of information about how bad that is for you, but some research that I have read, which I don't know if it's accurate or not, is saying that it's not so much the sodium that's the problem, but in table salt they've stripped away all the other minerals which made it balanced from how it was given in nature, and they also put a lot of ingredients that are very unhealthy to help it prevent from caking, and they don't ever really put those ingredients on the label. It just says like salt or something like this. I have tried going off of even Himalayan salt, which supposedly from what I have read is very good for you. There's all kinds of minerals in it, and Himalayan salt is a sea salt, but it was stashed up in the Himalayan mountains after the Himalayans rose in some kind of earth catastrophe thing that happened. They shot up out from sea level, and so there's all this sea salt that's been up there not getting polluted, and the rest of like the sea salt that you get that's regular sea salt is very polluted because the ocean is polluted. Anyway, because some people even say that Himalayan salt is not good because sodium is just not good for you, and both Phil and I tried not eating it for a while. We felt really weird, and Phil had an intuition to have a little of the salt. He immediately felt better. I've noticed I feel a little bit better when I have some in my diet. I do think it's because of the mineral content. I still don't know if the sodium in it does cause any problems, but there are definitely a lot of good minerals. So I have a little bit each day. I don't get over carried away or anything like this. I do think it's probably a benefit. I do feel much better when I have it. I also like to put on a little garlic. I'm going to sprinkle some garlic on here. I didn't used to make them with garlic. I used to not have garlic on them at all, but I've decided that I really like it this way. So I put a little bit on top, and I really like it, but you of course can customize it the way that you like it. Okay, this is my fabulous and favorite open-faced sandwich, and of course, like I said, you can add other things to it if you like and customize it the way you want, but this is a nice, tasty, quick meal that usually stabilizes me for quite some time, and I enjoy it very much. Thank you for watching. Have fun.